Hello, Hannah the Suburban Witch here, and today we are unboxing the Magical Spirit Oracle. This is by Alexis Raccoon. The tagline for this deck is "Awaken your magic and remember who you really are." If you are new to my channel, I'm Hannah the Suburban Witch. I'm a professional tarot reader, astrologer, and witch. I'm also the host of the Witch Talks podcast, where I chat with key witches in our community. There is always something new to learn over there. And you can find it here on YouTube too. You can find a link to all my services, my courses, everything you need to know in the description box to this episode. Now let's get into it. This deck is published by Rockpool Publishing. It looks really pretty. I really like the cover, the vibes. It feels cool. It's one of these ones, which I don't mind. I still don't know what my favorite packaging is. One thing I wish though, and you see it more in indie decks, less with the mass-produced ones, I love more creativity, like the creative ones. The Travis McHenry one was pretty good. The Hieronymus Bosch one, it opened from the middle. That was fun and different. I have ADHD. I just like new stuff. Well, that flew out faster than I expected. Have people been listening? Have people been watching my videos? That is paper. That is paper! Look, it's not plastic. Thank you, goddess, for getting it heard. Oh my goodness. That feels really exciting. I wonder about this one. I feel like this is still plastic that it comes in. I did make mention in one of my videos that I buy these sponges that come in something that looks like plastic, but it's biodegradable in your own home compost bin. That's what they need to use. But I'm happy with this development. Okay, first things first. We know I'm a sucker for a lovely edge. These are a nice golden edge, very yellow gold. It's kind of less sticky than usual too. I think the edging's slightly changed. Size-wise, they're all right. It's usually all right when I can hold the entire deck horizontally in my hand. That's a good sign. It's still a stretch, but it's all right. This is the back of the cards. Reversible, which we love. But with an oracle deck, not always necessary. And we have a little guidebook with what looks to me like the female reproductive system on the back. Okay, this is interesting. So they're oracle cards, but there are 4 elements for the cards. So it looks like there are 11 cards in each of the element suits. So there's 11 fire cards, 11 earth, 11 air, 11 water. It's a 44 card deck. So in the guidebook it says they are meant to represent the 4 elements, and the 5th element of spirit is meant to be you, the reader. I like that. Each of the 4 elements holds a sacred number of 11, alignment, balance, and synchronicity. Cards as an energetic influence. You are the divine consciousness at play, an extension of spirit. Your hands hold the cards just as spirit holds and encompasses your entire universe. So there's a bit of numerology woven within. For example, all of the air cards hold the number 333. So the angel number 333 as their energetic imprint. So mind, body, soul, holy trinity. So that's an interesting element. I like that. Each card is paired with a unique affirmation or spell. At the end of each card meaning, there is a physical, metaphysical, and or energetic action you are encouraged to take. Think of it as a practice, a spiritual ritual, or a manifestation enhancer for your card's particular lesson. Cool! Let's have a look at these cards, shall we? there's so many pieces of these artworks on these cards. I think I follow this person on Instagram. I follow this creator on Instagram. Oh, that's so cool. How have I not seen that they were talking about an Oracle deck? I didn't see this. Oh, I feel so silly. All right, Alexis Raccoon on Instagram. It's just ALEX. I'll tag it below. I knew I'd recognize all it. As I'm flipping through, I'm like, I've seen all of these before. I've never looked at this deck before. Why is this so familiar? So a couple of things that are just personal preference. What we can see around each of the cards, we have quite a large plain border. I'm all for fancy borders. I'm a fancy border type person. This one, I feel like there's a lot of dead space in the card. I would have preferred a bigger artwork image to fill it up, and then, I don't know, maybe just this bit down the bottom if you wanted to have that. So that's just personal opinion. It doesn't really take away from the actual cards. It's not a super shiny cardstock. It's not matte like the Dark Mansion, which has like a velvet finish. It is a matte finish though. It's got that feeling to it like they've all just been like popped out of cardboard. Do you know what I mean? Like the edges feel a bit harsh, thin, cheap. I don't know what it is. Something about it just, it's like I can feel where it's been pressed out of the card. Some of the decks do this. A lot of the ones by Lo Scarabeo, those ones, I don't like that deck quality. But that's a minor point as well. Whilst there is some skin tone variation, it is very minor. We have this lovely black hairstyle, but not black skin. That's one thing that's a bit odd. I do love the 70s vibes I'm getting with this. Makes me feel like I've walked into Ganda, which is it's a store here in Australia with kind of 70s vibes clothes. 70s vibes meets beachy boho. It's a weird mix, but it works. All right, so overall, I think the cardstock's not my favorite. The size is not bad. The diversity in the imagery. However, I think the artwork is really fun and funky and cool. It's creative. I love the idea of suits in an Oracle deck or elements in an Oracle deck and pairing it with angel numbers. I think that's really cool. The guidebook is decent and it's in color and it seems to have, a good amount of, it's got 2 to 3 pages on each of the cards. Now let's do the shuffle test. They're not sticky. Yeah. They're not sticky. They work really well. For the size, it is just, I have smaller hands. I think for most people, this size is not super comfortable in their hands. Tell me if I'm wrong. If it was smaller, it would be easier to shuffle, but it's not too hard. It's not the end of the world. Well, let me spread them out. They spread pretty well. All right, let's pull a card. Universe, what am I needing to hear today? All right, this is the card that I have. So we see this red-headed woman with a rose growing out and looking back at her from her brain. It says, do not be ashamed, not of your thorns or of your flowers. Blessings and curses, psyche, self-love, and beauty. Now, I do like that aspect, esoterically speaking. The idea of blessing and bane from the same plant. It's a cool one. Roses definitely have that aspect. This is numero 21. I do love when we have oracle cards with numbers and I can just flick through to the number. It just makes it so much easier. I really dislike the ones that are in alphabetical order and stuff like that. It's just too much thinking needed. I don't want that. All right, so the affirmation spell that comes with this card is, I accept all parts of myself. I am divine and whole. It's really interesting that this speaks of bringing your darkness into the light and how to turn your demons into angels. I love when oracle decks can do this. They can use words that really, really resonate, even if the creator may not have realized at the time. I'm going to show you a little behind the scenes thing. Just this weekend, I posted a reel and it popped off. I think currently it's almost at 600,000 views and there's a lot of comments. And it was a reel about how questions were answered in my church growing up, aka they weren't. It was go and pray or doubt your doubts, not your faith. And then I posted another post over on Threads about how Christianity has a lot of death-related ideals. Some could argue it's a death cult. That also went off. And whilst my journey through Christianity is filled with thorns and demons, I got this light bulb of an idea, and it literally, I was sitting talking to my husband. I had a migraine. I was just like not having a good time at all. When I went, oh, I just had an idea. I have to write that down. And then this entire piece of paper flowed out of me. And that is for a course that I'm titling Evangelical, helping people working through the fear around the doctrine of hell. Things like the origin of God, who is Jesus, the church, the biblical fallacies, the political control tool that the Bible is, philosophy and morals, prosperity gospel, purity culture. It's literally turning my demons into angels and showing people how they can grow from that and work through those fears and the guilt and the shame to come out the other side. So, that's obviously at idea stage, but I do have a wait list on the website just to gauge interest. So if you want to learn more about that, I'll probably create them as individual classes and release them and then build it into a course. So if you want access to that, get onto the website. This is interesting because it really it's honing in on what I've been going through this week. It's like, yes, this is the right path. So, I love when an oracle deck can do that. The thorns are what makes the rose strong, whole, and powerful. Her thorns are the rose's self-worth, her ability to stand up for herself, her discernment, her tenacity, and her persistence to keep going. The things that sometimes harden us also have great gifts to teach us within. Absolutely. They're also what we can be judged and criticized for. Now, the manifestation enhance, this is the little what to do with this card when you pull it. It says, practice self-love at this time. Mirror work can be extremely powerful now, meditating on love, appreciation, and acceptance of yourself while sitting in front of a mirror. You can find guided meditations on YouTube for this. Speaking aloud, self-affirming affirmations to the mirror is also powerful. Do it as often as you can. I have affirmations written on my mirror that I say out loud every morning, so I do like that. I already do that. The current one I have is, the bigger my ass, the fatter my bank account. And I love that one. Feel free to use it in your mirror affirmations as well. Overall, if I was going to give this out of 5 so far at first look on unboxing, I'd be saying about a 4 out of 5. I actually really like the vibes. I like the energy around this deck. I'm excited to use it. It loses a star for a lack of diversity in the appearance of all the people in all the cards. And the cardstock's just not my favourite in the size, but that's minimal. I do really like this artist. I think the artwork's really cool. Overall, very excited. As always, you want to keep an eye out for the review over long-term use, because sometimes I get really excited by a deck and then I don't really like it, or I really don't like a deck and then I start using it and I actually love it. So we never know. As always, I hope you're having a lovely day wherever you are in the world today, and I will chat with you next time.